Hey everybody. Okay, so let's talk about Thunderbolt Therapy. Let's talk about how before we came to this planet, we were just invisible energy. That's right. We are light energy, electrical, magnetic beings, okay? And just talking about that, I want to talk about something else. You've been ruled, schooled, and fooled because there is no gravity. I hope you know that because of the minerals we have in our body, especially the iron, it makes us magnetic to planet Earth. That's right. There is no such thing as gravity. But yes, if you fell off a building, you're going to hit pretty hard because you're magnetized to Earth. Okay? So understand that everything that you've learned in school, you've been ruled, schooled, and fooled. And understand this, that when you make the physical world more important than the invisible world, okay, this is not a world you want to live in, okay? You need to understand that you need to feed the spirit to heal the physical body. It's always going to be like that. It's always been light and electrical energy that makes everything happen. I'm going to go slowly because I want you to understand this, okay? And Chris, I am coming back to Canada, but I'm only coming back to Canada as of Monday, and I'll be there for 10 days, and I'm doing a lecture in Kelowna, British Columbia, and I'll be seeing patients, doing consultations, and I'll also be doing one-on-one training for a couple of medical people because they're interested in our protocols. But the reality is no, I will not be staying in Canada because the world is my oyster. And understand this, I love to face charges. Oh, wow, isn't that cool, eh? To face charges. All right, good. Anyways, so let's get back to it, okay? Now, so we are electrical, magnetic beings, okay? And we need to charge ourselves up every day. Now, how do you charge yourself up every day? Well, if you look at it on the physical level, you have to understand that everything you drink, okay, it will hold light or no light. It will hold frequencies, whether they're low or they're high, okay, depending on what the drink was made out of, okay? Everything that you eat and everything you drink leaves the body. How much frequency, how much light is in a donut? I think we all know. 0, okay? That's how much is in a donut, all right? Now, understand this. If everything is frequency, okay, then what we want to understand is the people we hang around with, the way we speak, the way we think, the way we drink, and the way we eat. Did you know that the physical body, okay, the physical body was actually created by the invisible. The physical body was actually created by energy. What did Einstein say? You cannot destroy energy, that it lasts forever. And that energy is the spirit being. And understand this. You ever hear that thing? Oh my God, she's so spirited. We're going to have to break her. Well, that's what happens is the world wants to break our spirit, okay? Being a rebel, okay? Being a rebel, you have to understand something. There's nothing wrong with it. You're going to have to come up against things on this world because the majority of the population do not understand that they are electrical magnetic beings and that they need to feed themselves light and energy. So here we go again. So everything that you eat and drink leaves the body. So everything about supplementation means that the more light, the more frequency that's in there, the more electrical charge, the more that's going to be left with you. That's right. All the drink leaves from your kidneys or you sweat it out, okay? All the physical stuff leaves through your bowel movements. Now, that means that everything that you create, so the higher the vibration, the more the light, the healthier the tissue. So now you won't have issues in your tissues. You'll have issues in your tissues when the vibration of everything is very low, okay? The vibration of everything is really low, meaning how is it grown? How is it processed? What kind of care, what kind of care was taken with this product that you take in? And remember something, when you smile, how do you feel? When you get depressed, how do you feel? So everything is about emotion, because remember what I told you is your thoughts are not just thoughts. Your thoughts create what? Your thoughts create feelings. Feelings create frequencies, okay? And those frequencies will decide on whether you are tearing yourself down or you're building yourself back up. But let's take a look at what's really going on in the world. Let's take a look at this. Okay, have you ever seen so many canes? Have you ever seen so many walkers? Have you heard so many people that have ever been on drugs before? Have you ever heard of so many autoimmune diseases? And understand this, everybody, okay? Understand this right now. 90% of all the diseases that we have today were never here 90 years ago, and 90% of all the foods that people eat, not created, but 90% of all the foods that people eat, okay, did not exist 90 years ago. And understand this, okay? Remember when the tobacco industry, okay, controlled everything, even medical doctors, and doctors would tell people that, you know, you should smoke because it'll exercise your lungs. Well, the reality is they got duped, and they're getting duped every day. If you're a medical doctor, you're being duped every day. You know that, but you don't want to admit to the fact. And the reality is that's a very low vibrational therapy. Now, I'm not telling you not to have it. You just need to decide and see, you know, because some people, let me put it to you this way. If you cannot address drama, trauma, chaos, conflict in your life, what's going to happen? Well, you're going to suppress it. And that's what every issue is. Understand, your body is continually sending you messages. And those messages are, you're out of alignment, okay? You're out of alignment. You're not in harmony. And you need to get this. God love your family. God love every person on this planet. But understand, you're on your own. And it's called self-care, and it's called self-love. And I'm going to tell you something. Whether you want to believe this or not, everything I do, I hack. I am not interested in what the regular nutrition that people take, because it's not working. The regular body work that they get is not working. The regular diet that they're on is not working. And then everybody's saying, you know what? I have a great diet. I'm in great shape. Oh, really? Really? You really believe that? 96% of the population has an autoimmune disease, 86 to 96%, depending on where you go. Okay, does anybody realize this? I will be bringing this chart up. It's a real study, okay? And you have to understand this. Did you know that North America, okay, we are the sickest nation in the world? United States and Canada, yes, we are now the sickest nation in the world. And those of you that are parents that have children, your children are not going to live as long as you. Did you get that? Why don't you take a look at the way that you drank, the way that you ate, and what you did with your spare time as a child? Oh, you played outside more. You got fresh air. You know the foods were more high vibrational. You know, you went and had a snack every once in a while, but every day wasn't a snack attack, okay? So understand this. We need Thunderbolt Therapy. And Thunderbolt Therapy means things like this. Not just a coffee enema, but an advanced ultimate coffee enema. And that's what we have to do. See, the times have changed. You can't keep the same rules, even from the health industry, that were here 25 years ago, because the planet's not the same. Tell me the planet is the same that it was 25 years ago. It's not. It's much more challenging. Let's just put it lightly. It's much more challenging. So instead of a coffee enema, please take a look at doing an ultimate coffee enema. Instead of doing a water fast, take a look at doing an advanced water fast. I can prove that these things are anywhere from 600% to 1,000% greater in their being effective. And understand, you've got to look for a perfect day diet. You've got to look for a perfect day on an emotional and physical level, or you're not going to make it through this. You need to understand something. The Bible talks about this time. Every different philosophy talks about this time in history. We're there right now. This is called the harvest. You know, I had somebody come on here just a second ago. Oh, come back to Canada. I said, yeah, I'm coming. And they said, yeah, come back and face charges. Everybody is like out of their skull. You know, there was a show done about me, how I murdered 3 people and how I poisoned people. Meanwhile, you know, the reality is this: I am the threat. I am the threat. Because I am going to give more than any practitioner that I know of. I am going to give more of myself because I have unlimited potential. When you love and care for yourself, you're going to love and care for everyone else. Everybody needs to get this. I am not going to be threatened by anyone or anybody. I am the threat. I am the threat. The threat is when we come against the majority of the population. You know, people say they want different, but soon as somebody comes along and offers them different, okay, like loving and caring for yourself, if it doesn't match the majority's beliefs, they go and they react and attack, react and attack. Tell me that's not happening with the majority. Tell me that the majority have not been numbed out and dumbed down. Let me tell you something right now. Everybody on this planet is my brother and sister, whether they like me or care for me or not. I need to get that. I will not go to war with myself. I will not go to war with any system or association or anybody else. So you got to do the same thing. And the biggest problem is we go to war with ourselves and we deplete our energy. Our bodies are like batteries. You do know that we are electrical, right? And you do know that your battery over time does not charge up like it used to when you were just a young child. But it can, but you're gonna have to change your thoughts, because that's the most important thing. It's not just a thought, what you drink, what you think, who you hang around with, what do you do in your spare time? And you're the average of the 5 people you're around the most, so figure that one out. And understand there are no diseases, just messages from your body. So everything is about electricity. And if you don't believe me, then why did they create blue light therapy, okay, on all our phones, on all our light bulbs now, LED lighting? When you go to a movie, it's blue light therapy. When you go on your computer, it's blue light therapy. Because I'm going to tell you something, they could have put Tesla and scalar energy and lighting on the phones. You do know that. So every time you're on it, you're actually being healed. So the reality is that the war is now in the invisible. So it's called dim the light, and it's called send out negative frequencies. So I'm going to tell you something right now. Let's take a look at everyone, and I'm going to tell you this. Old age is just a scar tissue issue. Old age is just displaced calcium in your joints. Just like that doorway right there. If that doorway, those hinges become rusty, okay, if they become rusty, you can't open that door, you can't shut that door. And if it becomes really rusty, if you try to open that door and you try to rip that door open, guess what's going to happen? You're going to break the hinges right off of that frame. So what do you think's happening to you? The more calcium that you displace in your body and the more scar tissue you make. Okay, so understand, all scar tissue, when you make scar tissue, you don't really make scar tissue. It's the absence of light. It's the absence of frequency. It's the absence of high frequency, and it's the absence of light in the tissue. All beautiful, healthy tissue has lots of light in it. That's right. Every cell emits light. We emit light from our fingernails. Did you know that? Okay. And every cell emits frequencies, electrical frequencies. And as you get older, you get older. If you don't look after yourself, you get sick. And people who are sick, their battery has no juice. The energy is gone. I'll tell you this much. This is what I'm dedicated to. So right now I don't have a clinic. I will be opening up a clinic. And just so those people would like to know, I'm still trying to decide where to go. But I will tell you this much, that I'll be going to Puerto Rico. And, you know, people go, oh, Dr. Wolfe, what's he up to? He's up to something. He can't be that good. He can't be that good of a person. Well, the reality is I'm going over there to talk to the government because they want us to move to Puerto Rico. Now, I haven't made a decision to do that yet, but, you know, they want to actually give us a building and land. They want us to come there because they see our vision. They actually want us to come there and team up with Jim Gale and team up with other like-minded people. Because guess what? You do know that Puerto Rico only grows 17% of its food, which is not really cool. But the reality is this. What if we really did love ourselves? And what if we really did care for ourselves? And what if we started loving and caring for each other? instead of attacking each other. And that's the problem, these psychos have taught us, to divide and conquer. Isn't that what's going on here? Okay, so let's get back to what I was talking about. So long as we're dividing and conquering and we're attacking each other, what do you think that does to our own energy levels? The more negative you are, the less energy you have, or you're coming from a dark energy, right? And a lot of people get off on that, okay? Well, some people, they really get off on that. So here's the deal. What if you were to mind your own business? What if you were to bring your frequency up? Now, I'm going to tell you, the majority of the population is going to get a cane or a walker or a wheelchair or have depends. They're definitely going to be on 1, 2, 3, or even 4 or 5 prescriptions, okay? Because we've all been set up, and if you didn't know this, why don't you go ask your medical doctor? But they're taught that by the time you're 10, that you should have that 10-year-old on one drug. By the time they're 22, by the time they're 33, by the time they're 44, why don't you just do the math? And then go find the majority of the population and tell me if we're too far off from that. Because guess what? It's so easy to program people. Yeah, like somebody came on here and, started to rant and rave at me. This person doesn't even know me. So, and when people rant and rave at you, don't let them bring your energy down. Just put a slight smile on your face and then focus on what you want to do, your passion, your purpose, and then move on. It doesn't matter if it's a friend, doesn't matter if it's your family, doesn't matter if it's anyone. You know what? You actually think I'm going to get away with talking the way I talk? And I'm not going to have people attacking me when I am like 1% of the 1% of 1% of the population. Nobody talks like this. Nobody stands up for people and says that we should love each other and care for each other. Well, there was one guy and that really did it, and we know what happened to him. But the reality is this, is everything is frequency and everything is energy. And guess what? Don't waste your energy. Don't waste your energy on people that are just going to spill it. And don't think that you have to explain yourself to people if they don't understand you. If you love and care for yourself, mind your own business, because you're not going to fit into the majority and you're going to drain your energy. And if you do that, you're going to make yourself acidic and create more scar tissue. Because the reality is when we go in, I'm just going to say this right now, there is nobody like us. There's nobody that has body work like us. And if there is, I'm going to go and I'm going to learn from them. When I can find somebody that has better nutraceuticals, better therapy, whether it be emotional or physical, I'm going to go to them and I'm going to learn it. And I'm going to let you know where I learned it from. And that's the bottom line. I cannot stop growing or expanding. But I will tell you right now that we're creating clinics all over the world. This in the last year, we have trained over 350, certified 350 practitioners in Whole Life Coach and Wolfe Non-Surgical. And in the last year, we have been accepted, as being our own university, that you can actually come through us and you can get your doctorate in indigenous medicine or natural medicine. You'll hear me repeating this all the time. This isn't a market pitch. This is to tell you that you have genius inside of you, that you need to become your own practitioner. And the reason why you're being ruled and schooled is because you allow someone else to be your practitioner. You allow someone else to treat you and not train you. Unless you're going to get trained and know how to bring the thunder back into your body. To bring up your electricity is to bring up your energy. Remember something, energy is your greatest currency, okay? And the only way you're gonna have that is to have an imagination and not be conformed into this tight little box. And I'll tell you, I'm not. You see this behind me? That's called a cell sonic, all right? This is a cell sonic head here. I gotta show you this because guess what? This is the most powerful device in the world. I'm not trying to sell you to come to it. I'm trying to tell you that it's always been about electricity. It's about bringing the thunder down. It's about putting electricity back into the scar tissue. And what does that do? Well, if you put electricity back into the scar tissue, it becomes connective tissue, because the only thing that it's missing is light and electricity, which is frequency. And that's what comes out of this cell sonic. It comes out like a bloody thunderbolt. You know, this thing has 25,000 volts. If you put your finger in a socket, you could stroke out, okay? Well, this puts 25,000 volts into a love harmonic. So that means that It's still 25,000 volts, but it's in a field. Do you know what that instantly does? It instantly revives the scar tissue. It puts the breath of life back into scar tissue, making it into beautiful connective tissue, because that's what it is. You ever see somebody and they're on the table and their heart stopped? What do? What do they do? Well, understand something. Just like your heart, the cell gets calcified, because guess what, guys? I hope you know that that's the problem with hearts. Hearts don't get cancer, but hearts will get calcified and they will become scar tissue. That's it. And guess what? I'm telling you right now, you get somebody, okay, that has a 92% blockage, have calcification, okay, on their heart valves, all right? And the heart has enlarged itself because it's trying to pump the blood. It's so hard because with every physical scar tissue and calcium block throughout your body, your heart has to pump harder. And the more backed up that your bowel is and your liver is, your heart has to pump harder. And that means that the more that happens, the more acidic your blood becomes, which the more calcium you have to put into your blood so that you don't go into a coma or die. Now that calcium in that scar tissue actually will pile up in your heart. So now you've got a calcified scar tissue heart. And that's the same thing with any disease anywhere in the body. There are no diseases. There is not 110 different cancers, okay, because cancer is stage 4 inflammation. And if you don't understand that, then guess what? And if you understand it's just cancer, then it's a death sentence. How does that make you feel? Well, you just lost energy. Because if you believe it's a death sentence, then guess what? Does that drain you, or does that make you feel stronger? Does that empower you? When somebody tells you they love you, does that give you more energy? Yes, of course it does. When somebody tells you they don't like you, does it take energy away? Well, in most cases, but in my case, please don't get this wrong, but I don't care if people like me. I know that the only way that I can keep my energy is if I do the best at loving them back. And if I can't love them back, then I need to focus over here at the things I love. And that's the name of this game. It's always been about energy. And the more that you learn this game, the less scar tissue you're going to have, the less displaced calcium you're going to have. Well, guess what? My Wolfe Non-Surgical, and I can say this, and I would like someone to come up with a better therapy, more powerful therapy, because I will add it to our university training. So if you're out there and you've got a therapy, okay, or you've got something that will bring the thunder down and that will empower the individual. I mean, the individual, like all my books were written that an 8-year-old can understand everything, because I am never going to talk over the heads of anyone. Did you not notice that the medical system only talks in Greek? Who speaks Greek today? Well, if we speak in Greek, we're just going to make everybody feel stupid, and they won't know that arthritis is just inflammation, calcification, and scar tissue formation in the joint. There you go. And you can take that with every other disease that you want. But I'll tell you something right now. We will give you a money-back guarantee because I know I'm right. There you go. I know I'm right. Now, do I have the most powerful body work and instrumentation and strategies in the world? As far as I know. But the world is big. But I'm traveling the world this year, and I'm searching. And I want people to know that I want you to bring your trainings and your teachings into our university. I'm opening everything up. Okay? I'm only one small piece of the puzzle, everybody. I know that. I got it. All right? I want the leaders of the world and the people that have come up with strategies to approach me, because we have a university. In that university, we want to train the best doctors in the world, the best practitioners in the world. We'll take you as far as you want to go. But understand this, it's always been about electrical light energy. So guess what? If we can go in with a technique called Wolfe Non-Surgical, if I can go in and I can bring down a fibroid tumor by about 30%, and I'm saying all the time, because if it's really calcified, I got to go in there first with this. 25,000 volts will go in, and guess what? You ever hear of fracking? Well, that's what the oil industry does. They go in and frack, right? They go in and frack and break up the rock way deep down into the ground so that they can get the oil. Okay, so that the oil will flow and they can pump it up. So this will go in and frack, not your bones, but this will go in and frack and create very microscopic little fractures in the displaced calcium. How cool is that? So now we're doing that. And when you do that, you create ions in the displaced calcium. And when you create calcium ions, they only carry on 120,000 hormonal and chemical processes per second. And that actually takes that displaced calcium and brings it back into the bones where it was displaced from. I mean, are we talking cool? So what we're doing is with the Cell Sonic is we're bringing back your body process to when you were just in your teens and in your 20s, because that's what you did. You made and broke bone so efficiently every day. And when you were doing that, how many people know that calcium ions actually carry on more hormonal and chemical processes than anything else? How many people know this, that we have a calcium product, right, called Merigen. We have another one called Alzagen. We have another one called Cardigen. And it's the only true calcium product in the world. And I'm not allowed to put it on my store because the FDA will shut me down just like that, my whole website. But they can't stop it because it's true. The science is there. You can go to my library on drdetox.com and go into the Ion Calcium Guide. And guess what? It's all scientific. It's all factual. And guess what? Ionic calcium therapy has been shown to reverse, and I'm telling you this, every autoimmune disease from A to Z. Because every autoimmune disease is just the body being out of alignment and being out of harmony. And what happens when you bring the body back into harmony? There are no diseases, because these diseases are just symptoms. And those symptoms are just messages from your body saying, you're not going to the right therapy. You need to become the therapy. So we know that we can get the calcium back into the bones and we can bring the bones right back to complete health. We know that if we go in and use a technique called Wolfe Non-Surgical on a 45-degree angle using our elbow, we can take, see what happens is this would be, let's say this is a healthy muscle. You know, the reality is, you know, some people may not like the way I talk or who I am. I get it. But I don't see anybody coming up against my logic. Okay? Would you use the Cell Sonic on a person's head, ears? Yes, I would. I would use it. Okay, first of all, just so you know this is a true story. If you don't believe me, this person, his name is Jason. He lives in Adrie, which is just north of Calgary in Canada. And guess what? They bought a Cell Sonic because of what I did. How about this? Ringing in the ears, couldn't hear properly. Okay, went and used my Cell Sonic. I didn't say he couldn't hear. I said properly. And ringing in the ears, we took the cells. First of all, I wanted to do the non-surgical, but guess what? He was so calcified back here. That's stress, eh, guys? This is your vagus nerve, because he's a AAA personality, you know? So the reality is, if you're a AAA personality, you don't know how to calm yourself down. You don't know how to find inner peace, because that's just the way you operate. Doesn't make you good or bad. So anyways, he had all this displaced calcium here, and there was a huge hump back here. And he says, can you work on me? And I said, oh my gosh, if I were to use my elbow to actually pull that calcium apart in scar tissue, my elbow, it would be too painful for you and it would hurt for me, or we would have to do a whole bunch of treatments. Whereas if you go and get 150 pulses and do 150 pulses just around the ear, just like this, you can believe it or not believe it. Doesn't really matter. You know what? Because eventually I'm going to be able to prove this to the world. And the reality is after he went and did that, he came back, it all fell apart like rice paper. Do you understand that? Because the Cell Sonic is 25,000 volts and it's in a love harmonic. And it goes in and creates these small little fractures with only displaced calcium. And then that created the ions, which started to pull the calcium apart. That's how the body works. That's metabolism, guys. And then I went in and then I did my job and it just fell right apart. And it fell apart in about 8 minutes. Don't believe me? We actually have a video. Or why don't you call Jason? Jason is will be heading up the actual course that I'm doing in Barrie. That's right. Jason Caplet. Okay? That's right. He just came on and he just said it did. And understand something, I don't need to lie. So everybody thinks, oh, you must be lying if it's something new or it's something different, or my mind just can't process it because it's just too unusual. That's right. Well, you want different. So it was less than 3 minutes. Yeah, but Jason, I'm never going to say I have to exaggerate everything. Like if it took 3 minutes, I'm going to say 8. Okay. If it costs this much, I'm going to add more money because people are always wanting to attack this guy. Okay. And that's okay because guess what? This guy does not conform. Okay. Just like I told you, if you go to a therapist and you've got to go there every week and you've been going for weeks and not weeks, but you've been going for months, then you're going to the wrong therapist. Okay. Right there, I'm in trouble. See? And Jason's phone number, if you guys, and he's in Barrie, Alberta, not Barrie, my apologies. Jason is in just north of Calgary, Alberta. He has a Cellsonic. He also has a cardio med bed. And if you didn't know this, guys, guess what? Perfect circulation means perfect health. A cardio med bed, okay? And now here we go again. Dr. Wolfe, you're just full of it. So a cardio med bed, without anything else that we do, if you went on a cardio med bed for 35 hours and you had a 90 to 92% blockage in your heart, which is about as bad as it can get, okay? And you go 35 hours on this bed, you'll have a new set of arteries in 35 hours. That's right, 35 hours of therapy. So that means that if you went and you got therapy an hour in the morning, hour at night, that would be probably about 17 days later. And then you're going to go, we don't believe it. Well, guess what? Everybody, when it comes to the Cellsonic and the cardio med bed, go to powerpack.health. And in there, we're going to be putting all of our therapists who have cardio med beds, who have Cellsonics. There's going to be a map in there so that you can go to them. And understand something. When's the last time you were at a therapist that they will guarantee their therapy, body work that they do, that they'll guarantee their consultations? And if you don't like it, you can call me up and we'll refund the money. Because I back up every practitioner that we work with. Listen, I'm bringing the thunder down now, guys. And understand something. Dr. Wolfe is not a genius. Dr. Wolfe is not highly intelligent. Dr. Wolfe may be logical. And the reality is Dr. Wolfe knows very intelligent people that have come from kind of a genius quality, and he takes their information and he brings it together. That's all I am. I am nothing more than that. I don't think I'm better than anyone else. I'm not worse than anyone else. We are all family here. And whether you want to get this or not, what is Dr. Wolfe up to? And if he doesn't match my beliefs, then I'm not going to like him. Well, go ahead. You might as well get in line. All right. Is there anyone in North Carolina who has a Cellsonic? And how much is the treatment? If you give us until Monday, we will have everybody in the map. So if you go to docofdetox.com, you will see at the top of the page, it says Power Pack. Go click on Power Pack, and that'll take you, and then you can look into the map, and then you're going to know who has Cellsonics. Now, guys, just know this. I don't make any money off of these people that are going to be Cellsonic or doing these therapies, so you got to get that. We are going to create, okay, the greatest community of New World practitioners around the world, and we're going to bring the thunder down. This is a whole new way of thinking and training, because my therapists are all trained to train you, not to treat you. If we don't train our patients, they remain patients all their life. Okay, so let's just say this. From victim to hero, that's what you need to be. And from hero, okay, you're going to be patient to practitioner. Patient to practitioner. You do not want to remain a patient. You want to bring health home. You want to bring love home, but you're going to have to bring it to yourself and before you try to sell it to your family. Just like this. I have to live it and give it. Why would you believe me? I mean, if I looked like I was sick or if I was falling apart, why would you want to come to me? Let me tell you something. I am going to be the Rock. I am going to be the Braveheart. I am going to stand up and I am going to roar, okay, and do so much more, because I want all my practitioners to go, well, if Daryl does this, then I can follow behind him, because I'm crapping my drawers, because I've always been made to believe that only a medical doctor can do this stuff, and that, guess what? I'm just little poor me. I could never, ever help anyone. And that's because we've been ruled and schooled and fooled. Now, let me get back to something else. So I just want to tell you guys that it's all about electricity. It's all about light, okay? And as soon as this would be normal tissue. You see, blood flow, lymph flow, your spirit energy. Yes, and I'm allowed to say it. Spirit energy, do you get it? Is flowing through you. Now, if I am having anxiety and I'm stressed out, I'm going to dump the hack, histamine, adrenaline, and cortisol. Do you know how sticky that stuff is? And do you know that most people are dumping adrenaline all the time? Well, you're either going to dump adrenaline or you're going to dump dopamine. Which one do you want to dump? Well, dopamine is the pleasure drug, and adrenaline is not a pleasure drug. It's fight, fright, flight. But what if you're just sitting there watching the news? What if you're just sitting there listening to your mother, your father, your brother, your sister, your uncle, your friend dramatizing about the end of the world and about they're coming for us? They're going to kick our doors down. You know what? Then guess what? You're going to dump the adrenaline and the cortisol, and it's going to come out, and it's sticky. It takes your fibers, your beautiful connective fibers of your muscles, your tendons, your ligaments, your organs, and your cartilage in your joints. And guess what? It makes it sticky. And guess what? When you contract like this. Well, you think you're not contracting your muscle fibers? When you're uptight, do you contract? Right, because you're in fight or flight, right? So all your energy goes to your arms and your legs. And guess what? You ready for this? You people that cannot learn to find inner peace and calm and understand that these are just bully tactics of everybody wanting to control us through fear. All your energy is going to leave your core, which is from here down to your pelvis, and it's going to go into your arms and legs. And if it stays there, your immune system is gone, and you have an open door to get sick. And that's why somebody came on here and threatened me and said, when you come back to Canada, you're going to face charges. You know, they're like these bullies, right? Really, that's what I'm going to face? You know, just because somebody can do a show or tell a story doesn't make it true. I am never, ever going to back down of self-love, self-care teaching. I'm never going to back down and stop trying to get my patients to become their own practitioner. I am never going to back down and go back to treating, because that's mistreating. I am never going to conform to 99.99% of the population. Listen to me. I bow down to nobody except my God. That's it. And I'm not telling you that I will get in anybody's face. I won't. I have one project, and that's it. That everybody learns unconditional love for themselves first, and then shine that light on their family. You can't give what you're not. And you can't force your family. We've all tried to force our families to believe in health, okay? We've all tried to force our families to believe in love. You can't do that. You know, you can only become a good representative of unconditional love. That's all you can be. So give it your best, everyone. You bullies out there, you terrorists out there, give it your best. I will not hate. I will not have anger, and I will not be fearful. So you need to understand that. Because the people that really matter in my life, they know who I am. So understand why I just said that. Just think, if I actually fell for this stuff, would that leave me depressed or fearful? Yes. I'm not going to do that. I'm going to go into Rami's kitchen, and we're going to reshoot 3 different beautiful shake blender drinks, how to make a certain soup. This afternoon, I'm going to come on live with a very beautiful woman who has a tumor on her breast that was so fearful that she didn't want to get chemo, radiation, and surgery. And I didn't tell her not to do it. I didn't know her. And she said, Dr. Wolfe, would you help me? And I said, well, I'll bring you on and we'll do a live. And understand, I'm never going to tell anybody not to go to surgery or not go do drugs or get chemo or radiation. But you know what? Unless you're in a life-threatening situation where you need emergency care stat right way, why aren't you learning ways to just love and care for yourself? That's all I say. So I am not the alternative. Just remember that my way of thinking, drinking, eating, living was way before the medical system ever was created. It's only been around, okay, since 1880, okay? Okay, all the technologies and stuff that I know has been around for 10,000 years. You know, at the same time that, you know, that the Rockefellers paid $110 million to shut down over 120 colleges and universities back in the 1900 until about 1920, all right? They shut down light energy. They shut down electrical energy. Just know this, if you don't believe me. What do you think happened to Tesla? He ended up basically dying, being broke. And Tesla was the smartest person that ever lived, not Einstein. And the reality is Tesla wanted to give free energy to the world. Well, that's enough to get you killed. So what I want to tell you is that if you want all the free energy that you want, hold a slight smile on your face all day long, no matter how much trauma's out there. Connect to your lion heart breath, 6 seconds in, 7 seconds. Put your shoulder back, put your chin up. Fall in love with yourself for the first time. Go do the Braveheart oath in front of a mirror first thing in the morning 10 times and at night. Never go into the bathroom again unless you're going to tell yourself that you are going to love and protect yourself and respect yourself against your subconscious that has been programmed by the systems. Because that is where the true electrical energy is and the true healing is. And understand something, I am going to bring the Thunderbolt to everyone, you know, okay? I'm not telling you that we are the cheapest in our trainings, that we are the cheapest in our therapies, but I will tell you this much. We give money back guarantee on our courses, our trainings, okay? On everything that we do, almost everything we do. Some things we don't. But our consultations, our body work, and like I told you, our trainings. You know, how much more do we have to do to prove to you we're not putting the screw to you? You know, I'm just saying that. What is it? What is it? Because I'm so different, because I talk so different, you think this is arrogance? Listen, I was raised, you know, a born-again Christian, and I realized something, that which created the universe has always loved us. And that means that I should always love me, and that I should always love everyone to the best of my ability on this planet. And that's the only way that you're going to be set free. That's the only way. Let yourself off the hook. Don't let anybody put a chokehold on you. Never let anybody put a label on you. Never let anybody judge you ever again. Let them do it. I don't care if they're your family, your friend. You walk away because they're going to suck you dry. They're going to drain your battery. You know, when you get on the phone with someone, they're your family, you feel guilty, and you get off with them, you've been on with an hour, and then it takes you days to recover. Be your own lover. And understand something. Everything that I'm going to bring to you and everybody that I'm going to get involved is going to bring the thunder down. Let me tell you something right now. This is the harvest. This is the harvest. This is what most people in religion and philosophers were talking about for the last few hundred years. We're there right now. You have a choice to make high vibrational, loving, caring decisions for yourself and become the light for yourself first. And then when that shines bright, your family will see it. Stop telling your family how to drink, how to think, how to eat, what to do. Because guess what? When they see you, no longer telling them what to do, but you're doing it, you're living it. Remember something. Let me see you have unconditional love for yourself and do it for 9 months. And then you will see that the crest of your head being birthed. 9 months. Hold the line. Love and care for yourself. Make only high vibrational decisions. Do not buy into any more BS. Because they're coming again. They're coming again this fall. You know, I'm working on a musical right now and it'll be done by the end of this week. And it's called Bird's the Word. I think you'll like it. Because they're either coming out with the avian or something else. But they're going to come up with something. And just so you know, if you think that I'm not on the ball, I hope you know the FDA has just taken off the first 2 vaccines. They no longer exist. You know what they're saying? They're not safe and they're not effective. That's what they're saying. That just happened a couple days ago. So now what they're saying is, and if you're out there and you think you're going to go get a booster, you're boosting something that never worked. And I didn't say it, the FDA said it. So don't think I'm the one who's making this up. And then guess what? Now they're going to come out and guess what? It's all just a big setup. They're going to come out and go, oh gosh, we were wrong. But now guess what? We perfected it. And here we go again. Here we go again. Here we go again. Understand, make your own song. Okay? Create your own life. God gave us one gift that we can never give up, but we did. And it's called imagination. And it means image. The image you have of you, your world, your family is going to make and shape you. Every disease that you have is the image that you've been holding. You need to get that. Every image that you create creates something in you. And every disease you have was created because you weren't at ease with a belief, okay? And understand, if you can't address something, you suppress something. So you swallow it. And that vibration, that negativity will be stored, and it's issues in your tissues, junk in your joints, and it will come to the surface, and then you'll get to deal with it someday. And it will be either a life-threatening disease, or it will be because you've decided that it's time to set yourself free. And the only way you can do that is one love, one law, unconditional love for yourself, and practice that with everyone else. If you can get to the point where you no longer have to forgive others because you didn't judge them. People say, will you forgive me, Daryl? No, I don't have to. I never judged you. Understand something. I was everything. When I was younger, I was in survival mode. I stole from the stores. I drank alcohol. I wasn't very nice to women, but I thought I was. You know, I could keep going on with the list, but it doesn't matter. Only today matters. Only this moment matters. Okay? Only this moment matters. You can only live in the moment. So don't wreck your future. Be here right now, because you can only heal in the moment. You can only create new things in the moment. And understand that the majority of the population will only be in the moment 2% of their life. So don't expect any major changes with your family and your friends. And if it happens, God bless that. But if it doesn't, mind your own business and have the most beautiful day of your life. Let me just leave you with a couple things before I go. My son, Dr. Sage Wolfe, will be coming here, and he'll be doing a lecture in Prosper, Texas, right where I am at Rami's clinic, okay? And her phone number, if you'd like to come. The lecture will be on May the 2nd, and it'll be a meet and greet at 6:30 till 7 if you'd like to meet with them. 7 o'clock, they will lecture from 7 until 9. And this lecture will be about, Dr. Sage will be talking about from a limp to a cane to a walker to a wheelchair, why you can't brush your hair, why you can't wipe your own bum, why you're limping, why you feel frozen, why you feel stiff, why you're inflamed, why you're swelling, why you're on drugs. He's going to go through a lot of things. He's going to show the non-surgical probably on a half a dozen people and prove that we're right, that within 3 minutes we can bring down the thunder. So that's Tuesday, May the 2nd, 6:30. You can call Rami at 214-549-3721. 214-549-3721. And Dr. Sage Wolfe will be in Texas from May the 8th to the 19th. And he will be doing treatments, consultations. And if you have a physical problem and you can't break through, get ready. Because we're going to bring the thunder down and prove that it was a scar tissue, displaced calcium issue. And I hope you're ready to feel like you can live life again, because we're going to do that for you. How much C60 can I give my dog? 25 kilos. So understand this. I would be giving your dog about a half a teaspoon, and you can do it as often as you want throughout the day. I would also be giving your dog what's called Ocean Essentials. They're inexpensive and they're so good for your dog. Okay, all of those fatty acids. I would also give your dog Black Diamond, okay, in the drinking water, just a little bit. I put black gold in its food and a little bit of daily cleansing tea in the actual water so that we're cleansing the liver, the colon, the blood, and everything else like that. We will be doing a show this afternoon called That Doggone Show. And I will be having a show that will be on, not probably till next fall, but it will be coming on every week where we will be bringing people on and we'll show them how Wolfe Non-Surgical can actually get rid of hip dysplasia, get rid of arthritis, get rid of spinal problems. It can renew your dog. If you haven't seen me working on dogs, go to my library and look for what's called That Doggone Guide. And that's going up, and I'm going to have lots of videos on there showing me how I worked on Emmett, Debbie's dog. And what's going to happen here is as soon as I can get some time, I'm going to go through a routine. I'm working on a small dog, a medium-sized dog, and a large dog. And we're going to be actually doing a master class, and we're going to teach people how to do it. But also, if you have a dog that's in trouble, you can get one of my practitioners, and they can fix your dog. We also work on horses. I have to go work on a very expensive thoroughbred where they're going to put him to sleep, okay, a thoroughbred horse, and they're going to put him to sleep. And I'm going to go in there and I'm going to be working on a real bad calcification, scar tissue problem in the spine. I have another horse that wrecked its neck and and its neck is always bent like this. And I'm going to be working on that horse as well. So the reality is yeah, most of our products you can use on your pets. Okay. And I'm going to be going to Kelowna, British Columbia, and I will be lecturing there next Wednesday, and it will be at 6:30, okay, at 6:30 in Kelowna, British Columbia. Yeah, so if you want to come at 6:30, it's a meet and greet, and 7 o'clock I will be lecturing there till about 7 till 9, and if you want to stay longer, you can ask questions, and you can stay until 10 o'clock, and just know this, you matter. Your questions matter. Your life matters. Have a beautiful day, everyone. God bless.